What's going on, everyone? It's the Blind Mongoose here, and today I thought of doing a tier list ranking every single story arc in Jujutsu Kaisen. And before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, do all of that, and it will be much appreciated. And without further ado, let's just hop right in. Basically, I'll be doing this in whatever the tier list order it is. As you can see, we basically have 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 10 arcs. I don't think this is including the UG Extermination arc. If it is, don't see it, but it doesn't seem like they're covering that. But I'll try my best to basically rank these however I can. So, without further ado, let's basically just get into it. And our first arc up is the Gojo Past arc, or Hidden Inventory, and I'm just gonna put this in like a solid A tier. I definitely feel like the highlight for this chapter or this arc was Geto and Toji and basically Gojo. Like them three were like the standouts of this arc, and I definitely feel like Geto and Gojo's relationship was very fleshed out in a very organic, natural way with, the death of Toji, with basically Gojo taking in Megumi and Sumiki, and this is just a really good arc. I definitely feel like the last line Geto says to Gojo is like, "You're Satoru Gojo," or "You're strongest because you are Satoru Gojo." Like it was like a wordplay on that, but yeah, I just vibed with that a lot, and yeah, just really solid arc. And the next arc I believe is Origin of Obedience, and um, I'm debating putting this at like a B or A tier, because like it's a really good arc, but is it as good as the basic of Gojo Past arc? I don't think it is. I definitely feel like the highlight for this arc was basically Megumi and basically domain expansion, Chimera Shadow Garden. I absolutely love the domain. I love how they did in the anime as well. I feel like it was very well done with the music, the sound effects, and yeah, I feel like it's a B tier, but it's still a really good arc nonetheless. And coming in, I feel like this is volume zero. Volume zero, yeah. Volume zero, 4 chapters, I believe. Basically covering Yuta's origins, where basically came from. This is like the prequel to Jujutsu Kaisen, like the main story, but this is like the prequel, as you know. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put on the same tier as Origin of Obedience, just because we don't really have that much to flesh out. And the main like star of this arc was it was Yuta. It was nice seeing Inumaki, Maki, and Panda back at it again. And yeah, it's just we didn't really get that much. 4 chapters. You have to be like really good at writing to get a arc as good as like basically Gojo's past arc or the next one that's up, but we'll get to it. But yeah, still very good. I would say arc in volume zero. Next up is easily best arc, Shibuya Incident. Probably one of the best arcs in current shonen days, but I would make a case for Chainsaw Man. As you know, huge fan of both series, but yeah, this arc is probably the longest, 57 chapters, I believe. 56, 57. We basically get Jujutsu Kaisen in a nutshell in this arc, and it is just a master just a massive cluster mess of good character writing, world building, getting to see what the villains are capable of whenever Gojo's out of the picture, and just seeing the growth of Yuji and our main cast within this single arc is just phenomenal. And I feel like the closest thing to get to a Shibuya Incident is My Hero's War Arc, which just wrapped up like a few months ago. And I feel like that's like one of the arcs that can reach this level of quality and quantity as Jujutsu Kaisen can, and I feel like no other series like My Hero, Black Clover, or just any like new gen that isn't like in the mainstream can do it, you know. So yeah, Shibuya Incident, really good arc. Next up is the next up is Mahito arc. Um, Mahito arc. Where do I put this? This is like an event. It's very. I really like this arc. Basically, this is where we get the introduction of Mahito, Junpei, Nanami is basically introduced, and it's like a murder mystery, I want to say, but I definitely feel like it's a A tier arc. Basically, what I love about this arc is the entire like duality between Mahito and Yuji, and how Mahito wants to make Yuji suffer as much as possible, and he's without a doubt currently the best villain in pretty much Jujutsu Kaisen. Most of where he gets is this arc in Shibuya Incident, but I definitely feel like Gojo's past arc is a way better arc, and yeah, just that. Next up is the Cursed Training arc. I definitely Cursed Training. This is where we got to see Gojo at his fullest. You know, this is where we got that Gojo Jogo fight. Absolutely goated fight. But if I'm being honest, I feel like it's definitely it's probably top of. Actually, yeah, he's basically top of B. I definitely feel like the highlight of this arc was the Jogo Gojo fight, which Jogo is basically Gojo spelled backwards. So good play on that, Akutami. But yeah, just really good arc. We got a lot of world building. This is basically the exposition dump of what Jujutsu Kaisen's power system is, and without this arc, I definitely feel like we wouldn't get the world building that we have today, you know, like domain expansions were explained in this arc, cursed spirits, where they come from, how they originate, basically. Really good arc, by the way, yeah. But next up is the introduction arc, and this arc is like one or two chapters. I feel like this is like where it goes up to like where Kugisaki was introduced, and like that entire debacle. I think it covers episodes between 1 and 3 of the anime, and I feel like this is our first C rank. I definitely feel like the beginning of the manga, just the manga it wasn't, I wouldn't say great. I would say is average. You know, I feel like C is average, D is below average, but I don't feel like there's a single average arc in Jujutsu Kaisen besides like the beginning portions. I definitely feel like the Cursed Training arc was the first arc where we got to see Gege, or what the story had, and in its basically catalog. And yeah, C tier, but it's still a good arc. I'm not gonna say it's like bad or anything, but yeah. Next up is I think this is the arc that comes after, which is called Cursed Womb, I believe, where Sukuna basically kills Yuji, and basically I would say wreaks havoc upon Jujutsu, basically Megumi, and yeah, just honestly, I feel like this arc is underrated because we got that whole scene with Yuji basically about to die, and he starts like crying, like almost like he's about to collapse due to how much he just doesn't want to die, you know. And I definitely feel like the strengths of these arcs was Yuji and the expansion of Megumi. I feel like Kugisaki wasn't formally, I would say, elaborated upon until Kyoto Goodwill, which is the next one up. But I feel like this one is top of C, just because all the arcs up here are like really good. So like saying that this arc is not as good as this one isn't really downplaying on this arc. I just feel like all these arcs does stuff way better than this one. But I feel like the highlight for this one was Yuji's death, like quote unquote death, but you know what I mean. Next up is, or the last one is, Kyoto Goodwill. Um, Honestly, I actually kind of like this arc. I love the whole Toto and Yuji thing. How how Toto basically saves Yuji from, you know, uh, he basically brings out the best of Yuji in this arc, and the whole fight with Hanami was just top tier. And I just have to go with A tier with this one. Do I want to put it in front of or behind? Huh? Or I feel like that's good enough. Yeah, I feel like that's good enough. Yeah, I feel like this arc does a lot. It introduces Kyoto students, which I believe the only ones we had met prior to this arc was Miwa, Yoshinobu, Gakuganji, Toto, Mai. I feel like that's it. Yeah. Um, Good arc. We got a lot of character development with not just our main cast, but with our secondary ones, and yeah, just really good arc. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen just basically has no average or below average arcs. Each arc does something that they're good. Even these arcs in the C tier does something that Jujutsu Kaisen just does better. Um, we got the introduction to Yuji, Sukuna, and yeah, these no arc in basically Jujutsu Kaisen is below average. Just out to say that. Um, and yeah, I feel like this art. Actually, hold on. Do I want to move? Yeah, I might have to move this one down. Yeah, I might have to move volume 0 down to C, just because you can't really get that much with 4 chapters, and these arcs basically are 4 chapters long. So, and yeah, and basically this is like the pre-Gege writing, so I feel like, yeah, yeah. I feel this is a good list. Yeah. So just to go off of what we have and pretty much go up from uh, bottom to pretty much top is the introduction arc, Cursed Child arc, Curse Womb arc, Origin of Obedience or Death Pendings arc, Cursed Training arc, a lot of curses, the versus Mahito arc, the Kyoto Goodwill event arc, and Gojo's past arc or hidden inventory, and at the very top, Shibuya incident, which best arc, without a doubt, in pretty much Jujutsu Kaisen history. And yeah, that's a list, guys. Tell me what you guys think about the list. Tell me your own list down below. And yeah, if you're new, subscribe, like, and yeah, it's been your host Blind, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.